This is episode 88 of the Gold Squadron podcast. I'm your host, Dion Morales, and today I'm joined by Marcel Noel Coordinates Manzano.
Fan who?
You probably don't recognize me with the red coordinate.
'Tis I, William Hegwood.
Love it. So today we are building lists with Wave 2 stuff. Now you might be wondering why. Why are you guys building lists? Because tomorrow, all right? So you guys know Thursday is the official release date for the Wave 2, the Resistance and the First Order. We have been given special permission to have the First Order and Resistance packs tomorrow early at our store, and we can stream them live for you guys at our league night. Now, I'm not the stuff's not allowed to leave the building till midnight, but we can have it on the table there and get you guys some Wave 2 matches. So that should be a lot of fun. We do have a bit of a scheduling issue though. In my day job, I am a orchestra teacher, and tomorrow is my concert. But my concert's over at 7:30. So the plan is, after the concert, I'll drive over, and we'll get that started. We might have games even earlier than that for you guys if people are brave enough to handle the streaming equipment. If not, we'll probably be starting our stream, and we're going all the way till midnight. We're going for the midnight release. We're going all the way. So we'll definitely still get you guys 2 to 3 games tomorrow night recorded. And if you can watch live, that's fantastic too. Should be pretty fun. So that's why we're going to go through lists. That way we can figure out some things to have ready to put on stream for y'all. Now, before we go too far, we do need to do our Patreon shout-outs. Thank you to our new patrons, Lauren Botner, Darren Weston, Andrew Bergerman, Noah Coleman, Matthew Lees, and Taylot Holman. Y'all are amazing, as well as every single one of our patrons. And patrons, you should have, or soon, if you're a $5 patron, if you're part of that squad leader level, you have your stuff has been in the mail for at least a week, so it should be getting there anytime now. The Aces level, I just dropped them in the mail today. That's the second wave of mailing. And then our the next one, the veterans, those will get dropped off late this week, and then after that, we're rolling. So people, I can see in the chat, they're saying they're getting them, which is fantastic. Now, guys, listen. I've been getting emails saying, Dion, can you wait one more day to close the T-shirts? And I'm like, I was supposed to be done today or yesterday. Okay? Listen, I'm going to keep it open till the end of this live cast. Okay? So if you're watching or listening to this in the future and you're like, dang it, I should have gotten my T-shirt or my hoodie. I've been telling you guys. I've been telling you. So if you're watching live, okay, this is your last chance. Use the coupon code last chance. You get 15% off. You get the pre-order price. Now, am I going to order extra shirts and have them on hand to buy? Yes. Will they be more expensive? Yes. That's just a fact. The pre-order pricing will not exist after today. Okay, and I'm going to have to close it down and do all that stuff, get it ordered, and then I'll order the extras and have them on hand. But if you want the pre-order price, literally right now, so y'all watching live, this is your chance. Alrighty. Don't lose out. So, let's go ahead and we're gonna get started here. And you know what? I totally forgot to share my screen with my castmates. Let me go ahead and do that now.
It is really helpful.
Yeah.
Pew.
I'm switching back and forth between screens.
Sorry, guys. Alrighty.
You're not letting me be lazy. I want to be lazy.
Somebody in the chat said, Babadak asking, am I allowed to spoil the mystery card by talking about how cool it is? I mean, as a squad leader, it is your right to do whatever you want to. All right? You could say that it's cool and leave it at that if you want to be spoiler-free. I can't stop you. And Tret4361, no, I do not have an extra oboe lying around. Let's let's continue on our merrily way. So we're going to be talking about some lists. All right. Some lists. We're going through these. Now, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be switching screens here so that you guys see my secondary screen where we're going to be bringing these lists up into Yaz, because I think that is the best way really to display them rather than just in text. That way we can have it interactive. We can research and read what the things are, because I know I haven't committed all of them to memory yet. So let's go ahead and get started there. So we're going to switch screens here. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. Okay, here we go. Boom. There it is. Ah, panic. It's different. Change is hard. All right. So let me go ahead. We're going to pull up the first list here. And again, these are kind of in a not completely random order, but they're in the order I received them ish. We'll try to go back and forth between resistance and first order and group some of the ones that are similar. So our first list here is brought to you by John Grimes. And real quick, Marcel and Will, would it be more helpful to see the list screen for you guys?
I started pulling up the list already.
Yeah, I pull up the list. Just keep, if you want to keep yours. I mean, it doesn't matter to me.
All right, cool. We'll just leave it there. All right. So John Grimes, he gives us a 2-ship list that is all about the Kylo. He's got Kylo Ren with supernatural reflexes and prime thrusters at 102 points, and then Lieutenant Dormitz with, I mean, he just loaded out here. Got advanced optics, Snoke, Phasma, and the Bio Hex Crypt codes. Now let's talk about some of these cards, and when they come back up, we won't repeat them. So make sure you're listening the first time. So Lieutenant Dormitz, we'll start there because it's obviously Kylo is your heavy lifter. You have Lieutenant Dormitz, which has a 4-dice gun on those Upsilon shuttles, but it's the, would you guys say that's the support ship in the build?
Definitely.
All right.
Oh yeah.
So advanced optics on this shuttle says when you perform an attack, you may spend 1 focus to change one of your blank results to hit result. So you're just trying to get some offensive consistency there. And then you got the 13-point Supreme Leader Snoke. You get 1 force. During the system phase, you may choose any number of enemy ships beyond range 1. If you do, spend that many force to flip each chosen ship's dial face up. I think, right, that's Kylo insurance.
Oh yeah. Yeah, helping him out with those supernatural reflexes, knowing exactly where to go.
Mm-hmm.
What if I didn't have to guess? Then you got Phasma on that shuttle. At the end of the engagement phase, each enemy ship at range 0 to 1 that is not stressed gains 1 stress token. So, I think the idea here is Dormitz is a threat outside of range 1 and inside, right? Because if you're locking down a ship with stress, Kylo is going to be able to take advantage, try to get around, and get on the flank of a ship and keep it so that it can't get turned around. And then, of course, Snoke at the other side is just giving you this perfect information so that you can get Kylo where you need to. And then Kylo, if you're not familiar with the silencer, it's just extremely maneuverable, has supernatural reflexes, which allows you to do a boost or a barrel roll before you move. And unlike Vader, the silencer has both boost and barrel roll on its action bar, so there is no penalty for doing either of those actions before you move. Any thoughts on this list? Sorry,
so are we just talking about?
So hold on.
Yeah,
So,
I want to.
let me.
Set the rule.
I forgot something. So this is at 185 points,
Yeah.
and so they get 15-point bid for Kylo. Maybe that's a little deep. He is a initiative 5. And as for what are we doing with this lists, I mean, I think if we get a couple with the same archetype, we can just do compare. This is the only one of these I've seen with it's like Kylo and a shuttle. So if we want to tweak it a little bit, I'm down with that.
I like the archetype with just Kylo and the shuttle that has Supreme Leader Snoke in order to be able to, because since Kylo is initiative 5, he's going to struggle against some of the main ones like Poe. Poe can put some damage on him with that double action. Wedge is always going to be able to put some damage on him, and so is Sven. So I think, or even Quick Draw. So that Snoke becomes really important. However, I think prime thrusters really not necessary, since the First Order already has a native auto thrusters, which is a barrel roll or boost after the first action. Yeah, you'll end up stressed, but that's 8 points that you'll be able to save. Um, and also the advanced optics, I think, might be not entirely necessary in this case, especially when you're rolling 4 dice on a support ship. Personally, what I would love to see out of this is taking Lieutenant Dormit's and actually upgrading it to Lieutenant Tavson, which is the one that after you suffer a damage, you may spend 1 charge to perform an action. And that gives you 2 charges that are rechargeable, 1 recharges per turn, which means if you have multiple ships shooting at you, you can either, if you coordinate it, you have no actions, you take the first damage, you can reinforce the front or the back, wherever you're going to get your next shot, or you can go ahead and jam somebody that's going to take a next shot against. So if somebody's going to shoot Kylo, you have multiple ships, some shooting at you, some shooting at Kylo, then you can coordinate something to Kylo as far as that, when you take a damage, you can choose coordinate, you can choose jam, or you can reinforce, or you can just target lock in order to put some damage on the one that just shot you.
Do you think, though, maybe the reason for the advanced optics is to try to, like, so that I can jam or coordinate, and also, but you have to have a focus, right?
You have to have a focus, so you need a double action in order to do that.
Ah, okay.
And the thing with Tafson, he's only 2 points more, and he basically gives you, and you can spend. There's nothing that doesn't allow you in the current rules that doesn't allow you to spend both actions. And if let's say you coordinate it, and somebody's at range 1 and did some damage on you, there's nothing saying you can't spend both charges to get target lock focus, and just.
Well, his ability says you may spend 1 charge.
Yeah, but I think it's a one charge for 1 action. It doesn't say you may only spend 1 charge, because that's the same thing that has happened when you may spend the focus to change a focus result, but you can spend multiple force to get multiple focuses converted. Same thing as. So I think, at least my interpretation, there's going to be something that goes up to the judge, but you should be able to spend multiple based on that logic. The way I see it, the way if it works similar to force.
Well, if you took 2 damage in like 1 attack, yeah, I would think so.
And
but
then
I do have a point for you about those prime thrusters.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the prime thrusters, and also the advanced optics. I would just put it up to that other one, Tarvan or whatever he is, and put collision detector as a sensor upgrades to be able to get through rocks, especially on a ship that's a big ship, and it's probably going to be going over some debris, some rocks.
Will, go ahead.
Well, I think the interaction I'm seeing here with the prime thrusters and the biohexacrypt codes was that you'd be able to Supreme Leader Snoke in the system phase, see what the enemy's doing, coordinate with biohexacrypt codes from the Upsilon, but you'd coordinate, say, a focus. Okay. Then you could prime thrusters off of that, or excuse me, not prime thrusters, auto thrusters off of the coordinated action, and then you would still be able to supernatural the other action. And then you would clear that with a green move and be able to take target lock. I believe, yeah, because that way you'd be able to take basically all 4 actions on Kylo with those prime thrusters.
Yeah, I think the prime. I think somebody in the chat says it really, really well. He says, Kylo depends so much on repositioning and stress shutting him down. Shutting down his options basically is a death sentence. So that prime thrusters is, I think out of the options for tech is the best for Kylo. I know it's 8 points, but
I think there's a reason it's 8 points now, though.
Yeah. Oh, it's really good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's go ahead. Let's move on to the next one, because we got a lot of lists to get through. You know what? I should get like a timer. We like 2 minutes or something like that per list.
All right, got it.
Ready?
And maybe only one person and one rebuttal.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, I'll stay completely out of this one. Will, you read this one? Here's the next.
Okay, this one is from Brendan, and this is a Major Stridon Upsilon shuttle. Major Stridon increases the range of effects out to range 3 for friendly effects like coordinate. He has General Hux on board, which says while you perform a white coordinate action, you may treat it as red. If you do, you can coordinate up to 2 additional ships of the same ship type. And each ship you coordinate must perform the same action, treating it as red. And also has the biohexacrypt codes, which I'm not sure how those interact, but I assume they would. Maybe not. But anyways, has a TIE foe in there, and Midnight with Juke. Midnight is the new Omega leader while you defend or perform an attack. If you have a lock on the enemy's ship, that ship's dice cannot be modified. This Midnight has Juke on him. And we also have Recoil, who I believe is a new TIE silencer.
Yep.
Yes.
Now, one real quick note. Juke and Midnight's ability no longer work together.
Yes. No, because nobody can modify those dice while they're target locked. So, but it's still not a bad combination for a foe. Let's go. Let's see what Recoil's ability is. While you are stressed, is this TIE silencer, initiative 4. While you are stressed, you may treat enemy ships in your firing arc at range 0 to 1 as being in your bullseye. Okay. So there's a lot to unpack here. I think I do like the archetype here. The silencer, the foe, and the coordinating Upsilon. But I think there's some problems here because Hux doesn't work, or excuse me, Hux to work has to be all the same ship, and we have 3 different ships here. So I think that's the first to go. Juke and Midnight doesn't work.
All right, and as you're saying this, I'm editing it on the screen for the people, just so you know.
Oh, I'm not watching. Yeah, so let's. I like Stridon. Biohex codes. It's so cheap that like I don't see why you wouldn't put this on there. And we got Midnight and Recoil, and we have 29 points left. Why don't we give Recoil some cool bullseye things? How about some proton rockets and some Predator? Still leaves us with 20 points. That's a lot of points. We need to put some more into Major Stridon then. Why don't we put a Supreme Leader Snoke and Kylo Ren? No, that's too much. I thought there was a special coordinating thing for the Upsilon, other than Hux. Is it just Hux who helps coordinating?
There's a pilot ability. But...
Yeah. Petty officer. Nope. No, yeah, it's just Hux. But so I mean, I think that's enough. We identified some of the issues there. That are with the list. I think like you said, Will, the archetype is cool. It just needs some tweaking.
Yeah, I think that recoil is pretty cool, but he's you gotta just him out on the board is not enough. You gotta be able to get triggers for that bullseye, whether they're like Predator or Crack Shot, things like that.
All right. So next one, Marcel. This one's gonna be you.
Here we go. This one comes from John Grimes. It's a Chewbacca Benny Tally. And essentially it's a Chewbacca, the Resistance Chewbacca, who says after a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 is destroyed, you may perform an action. Then you may perform a bonus attack. Great. And then Vinny is the Star Fortress, is the bomber, the Resistance bomber, and he states, while you defend, if the attacker is in a friendly ship's rotating arc, you may add a focus result to your roll. So he's basically getting more defensive. He's got him with Perceptive Copilot, basically re-rolling. And the great thing about the MG 400 is now that they have a two directional turret. So they can shoot both ways with a 2 dice turret, similar to like the Scum and Villainy YT 1300. But they also have a front arc with 3 die front arc. So they are the only ship, as far as I know, at the moment with 3 built-in arcs. Then you have the RZ2 A-wing, Taliesin Lintra, who her ability reads, while an enemy ship is in your bullseye firing arc, you may perform an attack. And performs an attack, you may spend 1 charge, rechargeable charge. If you do, the defender rolls 1 additional die. So basically, it's ultra defensive on some of the ships, and it's also and he has heroic on it, which is a new one that says, while you defend or perform an attack, if you have only a blank results, you have 2 or more results, you may re-roll number of your dice. So it's both offensive and defensive roll. Basically prevents you from completely blanking out on offense or defense, giving you the ability to re-roll. On Chewbacca, he has the Ray Gunner, which adds a force and at 14 points while you defend or perform an attack. If the enemy ship is in your rotating arc, you may spend a force to change one of your blank results to an evade or a hit. So that's actually a really strong ability. And then Trick Shot, which we know what Trick Shot is. Now it comes in at 200 points. It's a heavy list. I mean, Chewbacca by himself, any YT 1300 with 11 dice. With 11 total health. It's good having Ray there to add evades. It's ultra defensive for a list that has 1 ship that has only 4 health with good agility, and 2 ships that have a lot of health with very little agility. I just think this list will struggle greatly to put out some damage, and I think what's gonna hurt it the most is that Chewbacca, in order to really take advantage of Chewbacca, you want soft, smushy ships. You want ships that will essentially die. You don't want to make Chewbacca the number 1 target. And in this list, there's no reason why not to make Chewbacca the number 1 target, because the other 2 ships are really going to struggle to put some damage on or catch up to some of the faster ships. With Chewbacca, the beautiful thing about Chewbacca in 2.0 versus the Chewbacca from the original 1.0 is that now you get an action plus the attack. So that means that if you lose, if you come in and you let's say you do a target lock or you do a focus as your main action or whatever it is, after a friendly ship dies, you can essentially now you can take, if you do a focus, then when somebody dies, you can target lock and then take a red rotate your arc and shoot. So even if you're not facing the direction that you need to be facing with your arc, you can still take a either focused or target locked shot after somebody dies. And if you're not within range, you can do like a focused target lock and then actually is it linked? They're not linked, right?
No, it doesn't have any links.
No, but either way, you can either rotate your arc or you can move your ship into like position if you're out of range. So there's things that you can do in order to take the shot even if you're not in the right position.
Just real quick, I wonder if this list is not so much rotating around Chewbacca. Maybe Chewbacca is just like the highest initiative 1300 they could put in there. I wonder if the idea behind this list when they were building it was more about Vinny, and then the fact that the 1300 and the A-wing, both of their and the Star Fortress, they all have turret arcs. So that ability is is triggering when it's firing against all three ships in the list. I think maybe that was the idea, not necessarily Chewbacca's ability.
Even so, you're gonna struggle to really catch up to ships. I mean, the
I
MG
agree.
100
I agree. I mean,
Starport.
I was just thinking about the maybe the idea behind it.
Yeah. The beautiful thing about the MG 100 is really the ability to put. It's got so much life in the ability to put that collision detect. Not collision. The trajectory simulator and put some bombs on it and really use it what it's intended for. Um, so I just think that while it's nice and it's fun, it's just gonna really struggle to put any damage out.
All right.
And it's gonna lose against any really defensive or a lot of like swarms.
All right. So
Yeah.
let's stay on the Chewbacca train because we actually got a few Chewbacca lists. I'll go ahead and take the next one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll slide this over so that everybody can see. So here is maybe more of the traditional list that you're thinking about, Marcel. We have a resistant Chewbacca that's tricked out, starting with trick shot, perceptive co-pilot for that double focus, shield upgrade to add an extra shield, raised Millennium Falcon, which we haven't talked about yet. Has the that's the title, and it says if you have 2 or fewer stress tokens, you can execute a red Segnor's loop maneuvers and perform a boost and a rotate turret action even while you're stressed. So you do this loop and you're allowed to do the boost and that, but that also means that you get the stress, right? Because
Mhm.
you're allowed to do it, but you're getting double stress when you
Yeah,
do
you're
that.
gonna get double stressed.
Okay, so yeah, it's a risk. It's a risk. You can do it 2 times in a row. You can do it 2 times in a row total if you really need to. Well, that's a bit risky. And then pairing that up with 3 the Blue Squadron recruit A-wings. They're the cheapest ones, 35 points with homing missile. I think homing missiles go so well on this platform. Oh my goodness, so good. So if you're not familiar with homing missiles, you require a target lock, no range bonus on this, and it is range 2 to 3. And it says after you spend a charge, after you declare the defender may choose to either suffer a damage. If it does, skip the attack and defense steps, and the attack is treated as hitting. So basically, the defender chooses throw 4 dice at me or just take a damage. That's essentially what that does, and you have 2 charges. You can do that twice. So these A-wings, they're a threat, and you want to kill them, but of course, you're going to end up triggering the Chewbacca trigger. Whether this Chewbacca, like, I'm wondering if that raised Millennium Falcon is really worth how many points is that?
5
Total
points.
5
5
points.
points.
I mean, I guess that's not terrible. I wonder if you could
See,
get
I would
something
much
else
rather
out of that.
have the higher pilot skill. It's really just tally. Tally costs just 3 more points to get 4 more initiative. That math doesn't make any sense. And I think it's such an easy upgrade to just put tally in there.
Take one of them. Take like one
Yeah.
of the A-wing turn into tally.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
Sure. I mean, even if you really wanted to, right? You could dump the Falcon title, and
Yep.
you could go to Zari and Greer. No, you can't go to Greer. We can go to the green. You know, or maybe you stay at the lower initiative. You keep one as a blocker, and you can add a talent here. You can add heroic or trick shot.
Yeah, I like the idea of hot shot on Chewbacca since he's firing first in front of everyone. If you take out the title, it's just giving the A-wings a little extra, not only defensive ability, but it's also giving them a little bit more offensive ability if they're taking just their primary shots, not homing missiles. However, for 35 points, I do like the Green Squadron experts, which are the ones that come in at initiative 3, and they just them with heroic. I think heroic on an A-wing is really good because you're always going to be rolling at least 1 damage on attacks, and on defense you're going to be guaranteed you're not going to blank out. So if you're taking your focuses, you're always going to at least evade 1.
All right, here's the next one. This was from Joshua Steck. I can. How do you pronounce Joshua's last name? Steckschlut.
That's Schulte.
Schulte. Yeah. So he submitted a version of this as well. He's got the 3 blues with homing missile, but he kits out Chewbacca a little bit differently. You got trick shot, you still got perceptive co-pilot, and decides to go dead man switch and engine upgrade. Having the engine upgrade to be white, I mean, we know that a large base with boosts is really good, really maneuverable. I question, though, whether you should be using your actions. Well, I guess if an A-wing is going to be dying that turn, if you can boost into range, and then you get an A-wing to die, and maybe you have a focus already, or you have an option to boost after an enemy ship has died. You get into range 1, and you already have a focus. That could be pretty cool. So maybe I'm not questioning it. I take it back. I like that. I like the choice of engine upgrade. Leaves you with 1 point there. So just we got 3 different versions of 2 different versions of this Chewbacca and friends here. I'm curious to see how this archetype does, because I know that in first edition, Chewbacca had a similar ability, but now he has that action part, and I wonder if that's going to take him over the top. At least take him into the more competitive realm. I know towards the end of first edition, that list started popping up a little bit more. People started giving it a chance. So I'm just curious to see what happens. All right, we'll go ahead and take the next one. This one is yours, Will.
All right, let's take a look at this is one from Chance. And this looks like we got Kylo Ren with supernatural reflexes and prime thrusters. We have Quick Draw, who is, we haven't discussed yet, but very similar to first edition. Highest initiative at initiative 6. After you lose a shield, you may spend a charge. If you do, you may perform a bonus primary attack, and the charge recurs. So basically, once per round, you get you get a bonus primary attack. And this quick draw has advanced optics and special forces gunner. So with the special forces gunner on a TIE SF, says while you perform a primary forward arc attack, if your turret arc is in your forward arc, you may roll 1 additional attack die. After you perform a forward attack and your turret is in your rear, you may perform a bonus turret attack. So very similar as it used to be in first edition. You get 3 dice out the front, or you get 2 dice out the front, 2 dice out the back. Extremely worth it on quick draw, because that 3 dice gun twice is going to be really good. And this list is rounded out with the null TIE foe. It says while you're not damaged, you may treat your initiative as 7. So this is really high pilot skill with Nolan quick draw, and you have an in-game closer with Kylo Ren with supernatural and prime thrusters. This is very similar to, I think, what won Birmingham last year.
Yep.
It's almost identical to what won Birmingham System Open last year.
Yeah, it's the same pilots. It's just obviously they can't have the same exact kit out because of the changes. But yeah, it's the same idea.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be a proven list. It's got an 8-point bid right now, which I think would be the biggest question, because you have all the essentials: supernatural Kylo, special forces quick draw, and the null in there, and you basically just need to figure out where you spend those remaining points. In this list, it's spent on prime thrusters and advanced optics. And Marcel, you've been liking the coordinating null quite a bit with squad leader on it.
Yeah.
Would that be a decent fit in this list?
Yeah, I was looking at this list, and I think there's a couple different things you can do with it. I do like the coordinating. You have an initiative 7 null that can coordinate, and then with the FOs having such great greens, they can clear that stress pretty quickly. And I'm really not a big fan at all of in any ship in any scenario of advanced optics. Just don't like that. So that's a quick an easy swap, 4 for 4 points there. And I actually am a big fan of putting either pattern analyzer with fire control system on quick draw with those 8 points, or taking those 8 points and putting advanced sensors on quick draw. Now that would round you off at 200 points, but against most lists, at this point the initiative bid is not as critical when you have an initiative 7 ship that can reposition you and give you that final say so on the ship that matters most.
Okay, so
So
you're
even
saying
if
put squad leader on. I just want to make sure it all fits. So if you put
squad leader on null,
squad leader on null, pattern
and then
analyzer, fire control.
or advanced sensors, either one, because they're both 8 points.
Yeah, and with that coordinate, not only can you quick draw can rotate their turret, accordingly, or you could boost and barrel roll Kylo at the same time. Well, not at the same time, but
You can link it.
with your coordinating, which could get over that pilot skill hump. I mean, quick draw is already 6, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, because right now with Kylo, with this kind of list, when you're facing the other type of Kylo lists that are coming out with just Kylo and a shuttle, I mean, right now in the Aces list, in the Aces League, you have, I think it's Andrew Bunn that's running a 174-point bid. So it's a 26-point bid on Kylo. I mean, you're instead of running the Kylo list, just say, forget about the bid. Either put in Snoke to get that board intelligence, or put in that Initiative 7 coordinate. And
Can I take a small detour? A small
Sure.
detour. I need
You're
to
the
say.
Kylo, man.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I have two. I guess I have two detours. First, I got a little bit of beef.
Okay.
A little bit of beef. Why was I not asked to play in the Aces League? Ricky White. Okay, listen. Okay, I'm just saying that he had this whole he's like, hey Dion, I'm doing this Aces League. I'm like, oh sweet. He told me about it. And he's like, hey, you want to cover some games and stuff? Like, yeah, if I have time, that'd be cool. And I'm just waiting for him to be like, all right, hey, you want to play? I'm just sitting there. It's like I'm sitting on my porch waiting for my friends to come by. Nobody ever came. All alone. Anyway, after that, beef. Love you, Ricky. Yes, I'll cover some of your games. But beef. Anyway, Kylo. Let's talk about Kylo. Oh, man. So, I love me some Kylo. If you don't know, if you're new to Gold Squadron, and I flew a ton of Kylo. I had, in first edition, I had over 100 games with that. When people gave up on Kylo, I still was on the Kylo train. Got him into the cut at Adepticon. Nicholas Tobin crushed my dreams. And anyway, my fear we know that the reposition is really good, and there was many times where I had Kylo moving after other 6s. I'm going to tell you my fear, though, is with the amount of bid that you have to really take if you want that. If people are really going for that, this 15, 20 point bid, there are a lot of lists. If you're just looking at the Wave 2, maybe you're not too scared, but there are still some dangerous things in Rebels, in Empire, and Scum that are gonna give Kylo problems.
Oh yeah.
So while I'm a Kylo fanboy, I worry about, I like the idea of the null squad leader. I like that better than going for a crazy bid, personally. I haven't put it on the table. This is just my head sim right now. But I know that if you're going to be going for that bid at 5, you better be going deep, real deep, because you're bidding against Boba Fett, all right? In the hyperspace format, you're bidding against Luke Skywalker and other Kylos.
And you're bidding against.
And then what else? What else?
The Star Viper.
There you go, Guri. Well, wait, no, Guri is not in the hyperspace format.
Just
No, you said an extended.
Oh, sorry,
an extended. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Because,
extended, you got Whisper and the Great. Anyway, let's move. Let's move on. That's
okay,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
fives.
But
All
yeah,
the fives.
definitely.
Alrighty.
Right.
Who's next? John, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'll take it. Uh, is that John
John Ben
Young?
Young. Yep.
John Ben Young. Okay, we got the Blackout recoil and Null. Null seems to be a very popular pilot, and not one Null have we seen with squad leader yet on there. But I think after this episode and after some of the other lists that actually, I put it on all my lists so far in the Aces, but I got to give it to Ricky because Ricky's the one that told me like, "Hey, you should put squad leader on." No, I was like, "Oh,
Oh
wow."
wait, so he's actually in the chat. He's like, "Hey, this should have this." All right. So he actually said
Yeah.
he wants to add squad leader, and what else? He's saying
BioCrypt.
BioCrypt. Okay, so maybe that just
No more
okay.
BioCrypt. We're playing hyperspace, okay?
Yeah. That bio thing doesn't exist. And anyway, so I'm looking at your list now, the way you have it. So the squad leader, the bio, which let's assume in hyperlist won't be there. Now, I like this list a lot with Blackout. Being able to hide behind the ships. I mean, being able to hide behind with trick shot and basically put out a ton of damage or potentially put out a ton of damage. Now, one of the things that maybe I'm biased against prime thrusters and bias in favor of collision detector, but I think for Blackout, collision detector is just so powerful because if you put debris out there and you bring your 3 debris, you can hide behind it and you can take your shot with the extra die and then the lessen agility on the defender and then fly right through it.
Marcel,
Hey, does that still work?
how are you getting collision detector on these silencers? They don't have a system slot anymore.
Oh God! Okay,
It's gone.
Good.
Yeah.
Good gracious.
So you could do something similar if you bring debris.
Pattern analyzer doesn't work because it's only red maneuvers. It's not when you get stress.
Right, but prime thrusters would still let you boost and barrel roll through debris, though.
I got it. Yeah. All right. I'll blame that one on. I'll find someone to blame it on.
On yourself.
Have you flown a silencer yet?
I have not.
There you go. You can blame it on that.
Yeah. I don't even think I flew a silencer in 1.0.
Sad.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy I didn't fly silencer.
All right, let me talk about this one a little bit. I like the idea here. I do find it interesting that there's actually quite a few of the FO lists that have null popping up in there because we didn't see in first edition a ton of Epsilon leader really at all. I find it interesting. I think the squad leader, popping up is definitely probably the thing that is going to be making that ship pop up more. When it comes to the double silencers do have the key to my heart. I think we already identified the trick shot combo with Blackout's ability to be able to essentially lower the agility of an enemy ship. You get all those repositions. Cluster missiles, I guess, are just for gravy. There is a 7-point bid in here. You have the silencer at 5. And recoil, Blackout's at 5, recoil's at 4. I mean, what are you? The 7 points. I think you could flavor to taste here. If you wanted to, go ahead.
I'm putting proton rockets on that recoil.
There you go. That's what I'm like. You have some space. Why not go to the 200?
That's a shot right there.
Maybe the thought is having a bid there for the null. Like the null bid, might be the thought there. I think the proton rockets are nice though to have that just good punch. 5 dice.
I think the proton rockets and dropping the cluster missiles.
Why not? I mean, you can have them both if you want to. You get 5 points. You get 5 points back if you drop the cluster missiles.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, even though a lot of people are going to be shooting for those really strong bids, I think anything that you can get under 200 if you're in the 96, 97s, you're going to win a few of those bids because some people are having like, I don't have anything else to add, so I'll just leave it at 98.
And I think the cluster missile, the cluster missile call here, I actually do like it on Blackout because you have the potential for that second bonus attack, which means his ability could proc a second time against another enemy ship. I know I haven't seen cluster missiles go off too many times the second attack, but there is some potential there. So cool list, John. We'll go ahead on to the next one.
I don't think I will say I don't think we covered this first order list.
Did
You
I
have
miss one?
in the Patreons.
John Grimes.
It's John Grimes' other list. It should be
That's Petty
Upsilon
Officer
Fofo
Muse
SF.
Quick
Oh,
Draw, yeah.
okay. Let's start. My bad. Missed it. Sorry, John. I think I just saw the name and went by. Go ahead, Will.
All right, so this one has Petty Officer Thenison in the Upsilon shuttle. Thenison says here, during the activation or engagement phase, after a ship in your forward arc at range 0 to 2 gains a stress token, you may spend 1 charge. That she gets 1 per round. If you do, that ship gains 1 tractor token. Love the control there. And it's topped off with hexacrypt codes, general hooks for coordinating shenanigans. We have Muse, who is the FO pilot, that says at the start of the engagement phase, you may choose a friendly ship at range 0 to 1. If you do, that ship removes 1 stress token, which would be very good for that Upsilon, who's got a lot of red moves there. We also have Scorch in an FO. While you perform a primary attack, if you're not stressed, you may gain 1 stress token to roll 1 additional attack dice. Another self-stressor there. That would work great with Muse. And we have, to round off that, Quick Draw with the same advanced optics and Special Forces Gunner. I like this. It's the same problem that I have with the other one of General Hux. General Hux is only going to work to coordinate both of the foes. And I'm not sure if that's worth it. I think you need to get all 3 ships the same to get the best use out of General Hux. But I can see the argument for it just being those 2 foes.
So William, on those FOs, even though it's not the null that's been on every other list, at what point, because it says you may coordinate an action to these ships, and then they may may do their action and treat it as a red action. Well,
Correct.
coordinate is a red action. So if you were to put the squad leader on one of them, they would be able to effectively pass that off to Quick Draw. And
they would
again,
have to perform the same action though, and they both can't have squad.
Oh, they have to perform the same action.
But why do you coordinate or not coordinate though?
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying if you can't reach Quick Draw, but yeah, I didn't see that you have to be the exact same action.
Yeah. So what is nice about that is that if you do coordinate, say, an invade to both of these foes, Muse is going to be able to use. I think I see the combination now. So when you do the General Hux to the foes, give them say evades, Muse can then clear the stress of Scorch to make sure that it rolls an additional attack dice. So you're looking at potentially focused target lock from both of the TIE foes, and then you have a very strong focused up Quick Draw. Who's going to be pretty accurate with that advanced optics.
Yeah, but actually the foes aren't going to be stressed because they are because he's at initiative 1. He's coordinating them, getting them stressed early, and then they're clearing the stress in order to take their regular action because they move at 2 and 4.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, there's I see a lot of potential here. You're gonna that petty officer is gonna have a lot of things to coordinate. I really like her ability. I just wish that there was a way to get that to trigger, whether if that was like Phasma on the list or just any other way to potentially stress an enemy.
Yeah.
I think that's just Phasma though.
Yeah.
Which costs too much for this list.
I actually like this list. I think it's nice and simple and would be relatively effective. The only thing here for me again is just not a fan of advanced optics. If you're a 97, just go bump up to 98 and bump it up to pattern analyzer and be able to do your talent roll and keep arc and still get an action.
All right, let's go to
Yeah.
the next one.
All right.
We got a lot of lists to get through.
yeah, we do.
Oh, wow.
All right. What's the next one?
All right, so we're going off of Facebook lists now. So next one is loaded up. Loading. So it is straight up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Green Squadron Expert A-wings with heroic crack shot and advanced optics. Advanced optics, Marcel's favorite tech. I mean, it's just his absolute favorite. So in this list, I actually don't hate advanced optics because you do have only 2 dice, and if you get that double blank, but I guess heroic. I guess you know what? If you throw double blanks and then heroic fails you, you still have that opportunity to get at least 1.
Yeah, I think the only time I like advanced optics is actually when you're really low initiative. So that way you had all the opportunities to spend your focus on defense before you have a chance to spend it on offense.
Mhm.
That's about the only place I like it. Which these are initiative 3, so that's a candidate for it at least.
I wonder just how much.
I think I would rather have homing missiles than those advanced optics on these guys, though.
Homing missiles. That's 4 die. Oh, that's that auto damage one.
Yeah, though.
I mean, yeah,
Actually-
that seems good.
You can even fit ion missiles on them. They had a little control in there, damage
ma-
and control.
Maybe mix it up, because I understand the thought process behind having ships that all do the same thing, right? Like it makes it simple when you're setting up. You're like, all right, they're all the same. I can choose my approaches, but you have less tools, mind you. It makes different ships, like all your ships have the same value, not necessarily points, but strategically have the same value. But again, you're minimizing your amounts of tools. So I think what we're suggesting, right, is getting rid of these optics and spice it up with some different missiles. We said we had 4 points to mess with. We can go homing missiles on a couple of them. We can go ion missiles, and we have 6 left over. I mean, you can go another set of ions or homing.
See, I think I still want to just bump up. Compared to a green, tally cost 1 point.
Take one of them
to get 2 more initiative on that.
Take tally, give her an ion too, and you're at 199. There you go. Or homing. Actually, I think I like homing better, but it doesn't matter. You have a lot of options. If you want to go, I mean, if we went all homing, you get 3 points. Could we take another one of these up? You can go to Zari. I don't even what's it.
Okay, so go ahead, finish up.
Yeah, Zari's the one that you do not skip your perform action step after you partially execute a maneuver.
That would be pretty good
that.
with the other, and that one's still initiative 3 as well.
Yep.
So it flies good with the greens. I think that looks great.
So different idea there. I like the idea of the 5 A-wings though. That seems pretty cool.
All right. Well, let me take this next one.
You guys can't see, but Marcel just he's just like took our notes, separated, and he's like, I'm gonna put a list here.
Okay, wait.
This is from
take this list. I don't know where it's from, but take this list.
Okay, all right, I'll break this one down. Okay. This is again 5 X-wings. We have
A-wings.
Well, yeah, from a certain point of view. Anyways, it's 2 green squadrons: Tally, Zari, and Greer. Greer lets you rotate your mobile arc for free, and Zari is the still perform actions when you bump one. And all of them have heroic, and all of them have juke. Now you can still evade and then boost or evade rotate because of the refined gyro stabilizers, but I just don't see the offensive punch on this. I understand the juke where you can modify their defense. I just don't.
Yeah, just to add to that a little bit, I've actually put the rebel version of A-wings with Juke on there, just on the board, and 2 dice with Juke. Just believe it or not, they actually just wear down even high agility ships. They'll wear them down. Now, when you add heroic, and you're going to be able to re-roll in case you get double blanks, and just you get some type of mod on it. And then you have all these other passive abilities because 3 of them are named. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. They put out some damage because once they start eating through those focus tokens, it's unless you're dealing against something like Boba Fett, which I think it'll struggle against because Boba Fett, the extended version of Boba Fett, can have double calculate and focus, so it's just going to be able to eat through those jukes pretty calmly. But other than that, any ship, even like 3 agility Sunterfell or anything like that, if they're an arc, they're going to get chewed up.
Alrighty. Let's move to the next list. This one is given to us by Anthony Marchand, and it is a double Star Fortress list. I mean, going all in on the Star Fortresses, taking Edon and Finch. You got Edon with, take a look at his ability. Edon says, after you fully execute a blue or white maneuver, so anything except the stop, hard ones, or 3 banks, if you have not dropped or launched a device this round, you may drop 1 device. So you have the genius ability, essentially, for however many bombs you got.
Oh, he's not bringing any bombs.
No, he does. He's got Counternet and proximity mines.
He's got mines, which are still devices.
Right, sorry, I said bombs. I forgot that they've just devices.
You may drop 1 device.
Yeah, so so he's got Connor nets on there. So yeah, he's Miranda.
Yeah, he's dropping old school Connor nets and proxy mines.
Yep. Yeah, so that dangerous there. Mind you, these things are a little bit sluggish and they have some limited maneuvers, but with the dial isn't the worst for being able to drop some bombs on you, especially if they can get a block. They kind of work together to block you up a little bit. So yeah, you got Perceptive Co-Pilot on there, Veteran Turret Gunner to get that the little double tap action, left, right, or front if you have it facing towards the front.
Oh no, with the Veteran Turret Gunner, you can shoot the 3 dice primary out the front,
and then
shoot your 2 dice mobile.
Got it. So you're getting double shots no matter what, which also is on Finch Dallo. Also has the Veteran Turret Gunner. Finch's ability says, before you drop a bomb, you may place it in the area touching you instead. So this is your Crimson Specialist is what it was before, right?
Yep, the old Bob.
Bob is what people...
I don't know why.
Silly name. With Trajectory Simulator, Perceptive Co-Pilot, double focuses. You got the Veteran Turret Gunner, Proton Bomb, Seismic Charge. So you got this double threat of having both the bombs and the mines together. It's a lot of health to chew through for both. 12, I remember in first edition being like, man, these things take forever to kill. And that was with like all the mods. Like they just would not die. But having only 2 ships worries me that like once you lose one of these, what does your end game look like?
Your end game is playing the clock.
No, it looks like Eden dropping proxy mines on you.
I don't know. I'm not. I'm not convinced. Like it seems like a cool list. It seems like definitely fun to play. I just don't know if in a tournament setting, if this list has enough to go all the way. Just I feel that you could burn one down pretty quickly, and then you clean up from there.
Yeah, I like this list actually. I think it's fun. I think it's fun. I think it'll work. The only thing I would change is on Eden. Since you got 2 points and you really don't care about bids, just put Skilled Bomber on there so you can use the 2 range to drop that bomb a little bit further back if you need to. But other than that,
yeah, I think I would like Oh no, because you can't run 2 sets of proxy mines. Everything's limited now.
Yep.
Never mind.
I
I
take it
do
back.
I do like how this is really this list still shoots 4 times and
Mhm.
can launch bombs still. So its offense isn't that low. It's kind of a 4-ship build out there, just kind of condensed.
Yeah, it's like the old double ghosts. You know, you have you only have 2 ships, but they have a ton of health. Now these have a ton of health as well, not as much, but they got an agility, and they're shooting twice plus dropping bombs.
It's actually kind of reminds me of the weirdest Nim Miranda.
The next version.
Yeah. Yeah, let's move on quick before that comes back to all of us.
All right, so the next one is brought to us by Mason Turner. Who's up?
Marcel?
All right, we'll go. All right, we've got a 2-ship list from the Resistance. We've got Han Solo, Han Solo's ability now at Initiative Success setup. You can be placed anywhere in the play area beyond range 3 of an enemy ship. Essentially the same as in version 1. He has Heroic, which we've talked about. He's got Ray Millennium Falcon, which gives you, again, the ability to either reposition or take Segnish loops while stressed. Rose Tico, while you defend or perform an attack, you may spend 1 of your results to acquire a target lock. And Finn, which makes a whole lot of sense. Now, it makes a lot more sense, I think, with Ray, but so be it. Finn, because now you can roll. If you got front arc, you can roll. Use Finn to get that extra die. Spend that extra die with Tico to get a target lock and still roll your initial 3 dice. So I think it's a good list. I think the I'm sorry, and then the other one is Chewbacca, which we talked
Oh
about
yeah,
again.
your other ship, just the other
Yeah,
one.
the other ship that's gonna be there. He's got tactical officer, so he can coordinate. Ray, while you defend or perform an attack, we already talked about this one. You can, if you're in your mobile arc, you can spend a force charge to change it to a blank. I mean, to a blank to an evade or hit, hull upgrade, and C3PO, which gives you the coordinate and the what is that? The
Calculate.
calculate. There you go. And while you coordinate, you can choose friendly ships beyond range 2 if they have calculate on their action bar, which Han Solo does not have that, so that's just going to be sad. Anyway, I don't know. Fun list, nice. I think there's nothing completely wrong with it. I think I would probably just, if you can fit Ray in there, which doesn't look like Ray fits instead of Han, put it in there. The only thing that I would maybe change is just Heroic. I think Heroic's not a good call here because of
I mean, you're paying so much for these mods, right? You've paid 19 points
uh-huh.
for practically a guaranteed target lock. And I have to talk
Well,
about this.
let me ask a question here. Does the Heroic count for on defense? When you add the fin die on defense, does that count as 2 blanks if you roll 1 blank?
While you defend or perform attack, if you have only, yeah, because it doesn't say roll.
So that might be the reason for Heroic. If you roll only 1 evade, I mean, if you roll only 1 blank, you get the fin, and then you get to re-roll both again. So that might be the probability of rolling only 1 blank is much higher, so it might trigger more often.
Defensively.
Yeah.
Is Finn, so 19 points for Rose and Finn. I see the combo. I see what it does. Is a target lock worth 19 points? And I know, and it has to be in your front arc though, right? That's how it works.
And that's why the title's on there.
Right. So you're paying 5, 19, 24 points. I don't. That just seems like a lot. That seems like a lot. 12 first edition points.
Yeah, I would
I
much rather, if you are gonna run Rose and Finn, you might as well just put it on Ray.
Yeah,
And if you just take Ray off of Ray in the hull off of Chewbacca, you can upgrade Han
and to
to
Ray.
yeah, easily.
and,
You can actually put a engine upgrade on her too then.
and like sorry, I'm stuck on this Finn Rose thing. Like maybe the problem for me, like Rose doesn't have any other conditions except for spending a result, right?
Yeah,
So maybe Rose by herself is okay. I see the allure to want to get both, but
I
we'll have to
think
see.
the bonus though to Rose, which is very specific, it says while you defend or perform an attack.
Right.
So if somebody shoots you, you can cancel an attack. Going back to that Han, I think the combo here is trying to trigger Han and heroic on defense.
mm-hmm.
And if Han rolls a focus result, he adds the Finn, he can't heroic, then he can just spend. Well, wait, Finn works on defense though too, right?
Yeah.
Both of
He
these work
does.
on defense.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the.
That's the engine there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be on defense, and then you can add the blank on offense
Yeah,
right
but
away.
at
But
initiative 6, you're going to be attacking before you defend most of the time.
I agree. I think, I mean, for 19 points, it should generate a lot of target locks and a lot of extra hits. But it seems like a lot of work though.
Yeah, and you got to keep arc, and yeah, just put it on Ray.
All right, cool. I mean, it seems like a cool list. I'd be curious to try it out. Alrighty, we'll flip back to the first order. Got all these tabs open.
Yep. This is
Ah,
from Daniel. Daniel brings us a first order list. He has 3 FOs and a tie SF. We've got Midnight, which we discussed before. They can't modify dice if you have them locked. Initiative 6. We have Quick Draw, which in this build doesn't have the gunner slot. So why don't we just add that on there? Special
yeah,
Forces.
I will say, like, this list was like, these are the 3 pilots, the flavor to taste.
Yeah, we're gonna start with the
idea.
Special Forces on Quick Draw for sure.
Okay.
Don't Quick Draw shouldn't leave home without it. We have Null with Swarm Tactics, so trying to pass that 7 around. And we have a Commander, Malazars?
Malarus.
Yes. His ability says at the start of the engagement phase, you may spend a charge and gain 1 stress token. If you do, till the end of the round, while you defend or perform an attack, you may change all of your eyeballs to hits or crits. This is the glitter stem girl from the comics.
Woo!
So I assume we're trying to bump up that. So we're trying to have 2 6s, and then we're trying to bump up the commander from 5 to 7 with that swarm tactics. And we have 26 points left.
26 points to play with.
Whoa.
I say we. Ooh, that's a tough call, actually.
Drop swarm tactics and just add another ship altogether.
For 20, you can't put a 29 point. Ooh, you can put a 29 ship point ship on the board.
I'm telling you, just drop it and put another ship.
I'm down with that, actually. That's not bad. Get a blocker, a little cadet out there to block. I mean, you already have 5 for the commander.
Yeah, you have 6, 6, 7, 5.
6, 6, 7, 5, 1.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
and that one is gonna take shots to get him. I mean, he's got 4 health with.
Oh, he's coming in there 5 forward blocking, coming right in there, leading the charge.
There you go.
Actually, that's not bad. That's exactly what I would do. Agreed.
Bam. Solved. Thank you, Daniel Carmichael, for that one. Next one is Garrett Gray. Similar to something we saw earlier. Kind just without null in there. You got Kylo quick draw, but this is just Kylo and quick draw and a 21-point bid. Looking at it, I mean, you got the decked out Kylo, you got supernatural reflexes, you got prime thrusters. Those are pretty much the things that you want to staple on the Kylo. Proton torpedoes because you have the slot. Quick draw, special forces, like we already said. That never leave home without it. Afterburners is an interesting choice on quick draw because it's an additional action. You can get into some interesting positions there when you need it at initiative 6. I mean, you have a 21-point bid. Most likely, you are going to be able to make the other player first player. Fanatical. We haven't actually talked about Fanatical yet. So it says while you perform an attack, if you are not shielded, you may change one of your focus results to hit results. So this is after quick draws, finish doing her ability, which is when you lose a shield, you spend the charge. You can perform the bonus attack. After she's lost all 3 of her shields, she still becomes an offensive threat with what she has left. The fire control system, I mean, is okay. I mean, you have the points, so you put it on there. But I'm not. Maybe advance. I mean, I know that. I mean, if you're trying to go deeper for the bid, I guess fire control system is the one you want. But it doesn't work. It doesn't have the same efficiency it did in first edition. So I just don't know how good it is.
Yeah, it's basically Predator.
But maybe on quick draw because she gets to shoot twice in a turn.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
We looked at quick draw a couple times now, and none of the other quick draws had a way to modify both of quick draw's shots.
Yeah.
And fire control system's the only way you're going to be able to do that. Is you re-roll the first one, then spend this lock on the bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important to put. What I would do here is, I understand afterburners. I understand, he's going for the bid. He's going a lot. If you're going for that high of a bid, advanced sensors and being able to reposition or being able to take that even if it's just a boost. I mean, even if it's just a barrel roll, and get the position that you want is important. If you're going for that high of a bid and you really want to have full information, I just think quick draw without fire control system combined with pattern analyzer or without advanced sensors, those 8 points in my quick draw will always be like stapled on there. And for afterburners, it's 8 points if you're going for trying to get that strong bid. You can take 2 points off that bid by going with an extra shield and getting it down to 2 more points under with that extra shield. So I think there's ways to bump up to either get pattern analyzer, an extra shield. Fanatical, I don't think it's as important because by the time it starts to trigger, you're not getting that double shot anymore, so you're not going to get double use out of it. You're only going to get that one unless you're shooting out of the front and back. So I think that Fanatical works really well with the Pilot Skill 3 SFs because and without the just the Pilot Skill 3 SFs, the Omegas, with Fanatical and no Special Forces Gunner, just at 38 points. I think that works well for them.
Cool.
Because they're rolling 2 out of the front, 2 out of the back, and they can get multiple uses out of that Fanatical.
Alrighty, let's move on. We got Donald Williams out of Kentucky.
Is this back to me?
Yes.
All right. This is a foe swarm. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different foes. And it looks like this list has a swarm tactics chain rather. So it starts with null, initiative 7. You swarm tactics to the next one, midnight. Midnight swarm tactics to Commander Malarus, who swarm tactics to Scourge, who is the additional die if you stress yourself. And then they swarm tactics to Longshot, who gets an additional die at range 3. Now, normally, I would say that the swarm tactics on Longshot here would be wasted. But because you're trying to fly a little bit looser, not everybody needs to be all within range 1 of each other.
Nope,
You just
just
need
just
to
from
be able
one.
to create. Yeah, exactly. You just need to be able to create that chain from null, bouncing it down the path to the last one. So it's a little bit of flexibility by keeping swarm tactics on long shot there as well. Overall, not a bad list. I mean, that's going to be a pretty strong first attack. If you can get all 5 to shoot at initiative 7, and yeah, you got a couple extra dice there between long shot and scourge or scorch. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, I'm afraid of this list might just once the chain is broken, it might be hard to get it back together. And once null is actually
So yeah, once Noel goes, then you go to midnight and we're all sixes.
Yep.
Then once he's gone, then you go to Malrus and you're at fives, and then you're at fours. And long shot sitting there at a 3. I mean,
yeah, it eventually comes down to long shot swarm tacticsing null to make them from 0 to 3.
Yep.
Which would be pretty funny to end the game like that. But yeah, very interesting. A lot of pilot skill.
Alrighty. Next one is Mark Myers. Now we have not talked about the golden boy of the Resistance yet, Poe Dameron. Now there has been a lot of debate on how to set this guy up. There's been a ton. We're going to talk about how Mark here has it done. So he's got Poe Dameron with heroic BB-8 integrated S foils, black 1 and prime thrusters, paired with Lulu Lompar in the A-wing, Tali in the A-wing, and a green escort. They all have trick shot and crack shot at a total of 200 points. So we'll start with the droid of choice. You got BB-8, which allows you, has 2 charges, and you're allowed to do a barrel roll or a boost by spending one of those charges after you execute a blue maneuver. Gives you some additional reposition before you move. It's just like supernatural reflexes. Essentially, you get to do that twice for a total of 8 points. So, I mean, I like it. My problem with it, though, is with Poe's ability, like, I don't know how you can not put R4 Astromech on Poe. You know, with his ability, he's going to be stressed all the time. Like, that
because
like
supernatural is pretty good, you know.
Right, I know that, but you only get to do it twice. But I guess, it makes me nervous. It just makes me nervous. I know, like, if BB-8 was like first edition BB-8 where you could do it every turn, I'd be so in. Oh my god, I think it'd be too good. Let's be honest, right? It's just for these 8 points, you're gonna have to really make sure that those charges matter.
Yeah, I will say the R4, it does only give you the hard 2, and they still have 1 forward and 1 bank, 2 forward, 2 bank, and a 3 forward green. So you have a lot of other options, plus boosting and barrel rolling in addition to that. So BB-8 is worth a lot of points, but that pre-maneuver boost, and in this one he's got prime thrusters. So even if Poe is stressed from using his
good point.
Using his action the round previously to take 2 actions, he's still going to be able to trigger BB-8 and prime thrusters to do that boost or barrel roll. How much more is a BB-8 than a regular BB Astro? 3 more points to get the option to boost, which is what I would be doing. Be boosting.
It's a lot. It's a big difference. I mean, if you're putting supernatural on there, might as well go full out.
Yeah, I mean, I see. It just makes me nervous. Like, going from being so used to everybody having the option to do it every turn with supernatural. If you can make those 2 turns matter, which with the amount of movement you can get out of Poe, with those, with the black 1 title, for instance, like, Um, if you could
I
make it worth it,
I guess my response to this would be think about playing against this Poe. As long as he has that black one charge that lets him slam for the lets him slam
it could
and then
be
take an
anywhere.
iron for a disarm. As long as he's got a black one charge and a BB-8 charge, you have no idea what that Poe is doing.
Where am I gonna be? I don't even know yet.
Yeah, boost out, 3 forward, slam 3 Talon roll, and then I guess why not Poe to barrel roll?
Yeah.
Like you have no idea where that ship's gonna be or can be for that matter. So I think that's the benefit that you're getting outside of just the R4 astromech is that it's the unpredictability at any point in time.
All right, so let's talk about the pair up with the 3 A-wings. I mean, we've talked about A-wings quite a bit already. I think as a group, we believe that they're a good chassis, right? They're a good chassis. They have a lot of good options. Um, are they big
Yeah,
enough of a threat to keep heat off of Poe?
I don't think they're just going for like pot shots, right? They're just come in for a couple of shots and then flip the arc to the back and peace out. This whole list feels very like hit and runny. Like it's not sticking around to fight.
The A-wings stick around pretty well, I think, with the arcs heading to the back. I like it. I think the pot shots actually work. The only part that again, just based on this list, I like heroic, so just maybe heroic over trick shot. But other than that, seems pretty solid.
All right, we'll move on. We have one of our close friends of the show, Lencho Rubio.
All right, I'll do Lencho, and then I got to run after this.
Yep.
All right, Mr. Lencho, my buddy. All right, let's see what he's got. He's got boost shenanigans, is what he called it. He's got 3 T70s. He's got carrot. I don't even know these guys, so I'll be learning it as we go. Carrot-kun. Is that how you spell it? Carrot-kun?
Carcoon.
Carcoon. While you boost, you may use the hard 1 template instead of whatever you're using.
The return of Blue Ace.
Yeah, that's what it says. Blue Ace. And he's got prime thrusters, BB-8, and the integrated S-foil. So, again, he's BB-8. He's got the BB-8, so he can boost and do a complete turn when he reveals a blue maneuver. Then he's got Hammond Wexley. After you fully execute a speed 2, 3, or 4 maneuver, you may perform a boost. And he's got prime thrusters on him in order to also be able to boost off the K-turn and off the Talon rolls as well. And he's got the BB on him as well, but the regular 5-point BB astromech. And then the last one is LO at sea. After you reveal a red Talon roll, if you have 2 or fewer stress tokens, you treat that maneuver as a white. And he opts out of prime thrusters here because he's already got kind of a native. Actually, he doesn't. After you reveal a red Talon.
Yeah, he's doing white Talon rolls.
Yeah, he's doing white Talon rolls. Yeah. You may, and he's got outmaneuver on him just to put extra damage out. Turns him essentially into a wedge with an R4 astromech, clearing stress a lot more. And he is at initiative 4, 4, and 5. You know, the T-70 is just overall, you know, with 4 health and 3 shields, 3 attack, 2. I think it's a really strong chassis.
What?
I think it's gonna.
What is going on in the background over there?
Oh, that's my dog tippy tapping around.
Tippy tapping puppies. Okay, it's fine.
So yeah, I think it's a pretty solid list. I think it's the initiative ain't horrible. 5, 4, 4. I think it might struggle to put some damage out against three ships. I think it's kind of like in that middle. It's kind of beefy. It puts out decent damage. It's got the ability to turn around and reposition a lot, so it's never really out of position. I'll probably go back. I'll sound like a broken record here. Probably drop that out maneuver to put some other heroic, for example. And I like the heroic on the T70 so much because they're rolling 2 greens,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know how many times do you blank out with 2 greens? About half of the time. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
So I think you get so much use out of heroic on T70s defensively. So again, dropping that out maneuver, putting 3 uh, 3 heroics on there leaves you 3 points to just, I don't know what you can do with 3 points, but just save it for a bit, I guess.
Mm.
Go ahead.
Yeah. All right, man.
Yeah,
Well,
but I like it.
I know you got to get going. And actually, we need to wrap this up. We've gotten through about half of the list, half-ish, maybe a little over half. We did pretty good, and I think probably the plan is we'll revisit this because I think this is a really good exercise to do for ourselves and also just the community to be able to go through these. So I think we're going to come back next week and hit the rest of these. Or I see people in the chat going, "No, don't stop." All right, maybe we can go through the rest quickly.
I'm gonna call out one of these, and I think it's I'm gonna call out Lee Robbins, XXAA all 5s.
Go for it.
Yeah, I think I like where this is heading.
I'll pull it up.
So he's got Eloatsi and 9nub in the T70s, both with just heroic. Eloatsi can Talon roll and make it white. Ninub, has after you gain a stress token, if there's an enemy ship at range 1 in your forward firing arc, you remove that stress. So both of them love Talon rolling. Both of them have heroic. And you also have the Lula Lumpar, who's the one of the Initiative 5 A-wings, and Tali with also heroic and trick shot. I like this list. Super simple. Everybody's got great pilot abilities, and everybody's got heroic. So it should keep your offense and defense a little bit more consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like a really cool list, and it is one of the more diverse lists that we've seen for the Resistance.
Yeah, that everybody's has super high pilot skill, and I think everybody's just so cheap. 57 for Elo, 40 for Luo, and 37 for Tali. Like those are some good price points. Even though they're fairly unequipped, I guess. They don't have very many upgrades.
Yeah. Nice. All right, I'm gonna head out of here. So thank y'all, everyone, and later, I guess. See you guys tomorrow. I'll be at the store tomorrow, so I'll see. So whoever's on stream, then if you guys are on stream tomorrow as well, or you guys are watching, I'll see you guys there.
Cool.
All right, see you myself
later.
John, I like how you put your picture. You put your picture in your picture now. Smart.
Like, wait a second, how do I do this? I have the technology. Yeah. So super. Go ahead.
Grab one more list out of there.
One more. All right. So let's look at the archetypes here. We will have.
So there's you got.
So
Ray
we have some Ray-Poes. We got some more shuttles plus FOs. Quick draw plus silencers. Let's see. What is this one? I don't want to say names.
A resistance list.
Okay, so this is similar archetypes. Actually, the one we literally are looking at right now. 2As, 2X.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad combination, and people should start looking at 2X, 2A.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, tons of lists. If you're in chat right now, and you submitted a list, let me know, and I'll pull it up if you sent me the link. Okay. But as we get ready to go here, I
got one more. One more that we haven't seen yet before.
Okay,
and this is from Jefferson.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting archetype here. We have triple silencer. You don't get many points for upgrades when you do that.
No,
Um,
no, but they're 3 beautiful ships on the board.
you own 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
Oh. So this is pretty simple. They're taking the basically all the top pilots other than Kylo Ren. You have Blackout with Trick Shot, super simple combination. Recoil with Predator, same thing. Just combining the talent slot with the ship ability, or excuse me, the pilot ability. And then you have the First Order test pilot with Fanatical. These silencers are actually, I haven't even thought about that because I'm too busy worried about Kylo in them. That actually, I think they're the perfect candidate for Fanatical. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, Fanatical seems really good. It seems
Right?
really good. Like on this type of chassis, it seems like it actually could do something. Ah. Hopefully Will's okay. He didn't get just attacked by rabid animals.
My dog loves cats, and the cats are indifferent about my dog. So occasionally there's things like that. But yeah, I didn't even realize you could fit 3 decent silencers in a list. I kind of like that.
Yeah. Alrighty. So
Did anybody get back to you?
So here, real quick, I'll give you guys like 2 minutes. Okay, I'll give you guys 2 minutes, and I will stall out. If you could send me the Get Another Squad Builder 2.0 list through the Gold Squadron Podcast Messenger. I have it open right now. I'll click on it and I'll get it to you. Just real quick, we'll take 3 more lists. 3 more lists.
Oh, just random lists?
Just whatever they send us, man.
All right.
Whatever they send us.
That should be interesting.
Yeah. So this is their prize for showing up. You know, they showed up.
Yeah.
They're here in person. We got to give them get a little bonus.
I like the live shows.
Yeah. I think it gives that extra dynamic. Okay. So opening up my Facebook. Yes, Facebook Messenger. Boom, boom. Oh, somebody sent me a picture. They just got their Gold Squadron podcast templates. All right, so I got Mark Myers just hit me up. All right, here we go. Loading. Oh, what are you doing? Facebook is arguing with me. All right, here we go. So Mark sent us Poe with 3 A-wings, but a different loadout here. And using some of the different options that Poe has. So we have Poe Dameron. We'll start with the A-wings. A-wings are the same as what we had before. Okay, Lulo, Tali, Green, Trick Shot, Crack Shot. They sound good. The Poe is where the difference is. We have R4 Astromech. We got the integrated S foils, but now we have 2 cards that were not on the other one. We have this Ferrosphere Paint. After an enemy ship locks you, if you are not in the ship's bullseye, that ship gains 1 stress token. You know who doesn't want to play against this Poe? Kylo. Kylo's like, nah, I'm good. I don't want nothing to do with this.
Yeah, I think there's a reason all those Kylos had prime thrusters on them.
Yeah.
Trying to be shooting some Ferrosphere. What is it? Ferrosphere paint.
Yeah. So that this upgrade seems really good. There's very few upgrades out there that cause your opponents to be stressed. That like, mind you, your opponent has to do a thing in order for this to happen. But I mean, it's definitely a deterrent against ships. Some people they're in the in the chat here say it's a literal kryptonite to Redline.
Yeah, the only thing that bothers me about the paint is that condition about the bullseye. And I think this is where it actually hurts Poe, is that because he's sitting out there at initiative 6, you actually have an easier time lining up that bullseye for the target lock.
Mm-hmm.
or maybe not easier. Let me rephrase that as after you move if you have them in bullseye or not when you take the target lock. So
Right.
maybe I don't know. This is you were saying that this is your preferred loadout. You don't like the BB-8. You would rather have R4 paint.
Personally, yeah. And I like that he has a proton torpedo. You got that one time that punch in there, especially if you have that opportunity with that black one. Being able to, if especially if you hold on to that proton torpedo and that slam to the end of the game, and you could just get yourself in a really funky spot with the slam. You get the what you call it, the proton torpedo off.
Oh yeah.
And you could just kill somebody right at the end of the game. Like that seems nasty. That proton torpedo can come out of nowhere. Hello, proton torpedo. So that seems really good. Mark, I like that. Let's see, we got a couple other ones in here. Alrighty. So we got a couple of top patrons in here. So we'll go ahead and finish out. We got 3 more after this one. So, or three more including this one. So we got this one's from Nick Hartzell, giving us.
I like this.
Oh, okay. 3 SFs. This is the first one we've seen with multiple SFs with special forces, which we talked about already. You get that third die out the front when you have the arc in the front. With a Starkiller base pilot, biohexacrypt codes. Man. And
we're just going to call it biocodes from now on.
Biocodes and General Hux. And this is the first one where we've seen Hux that has all 3 ships that can actually benefit from the ability.
Yeah, I like this quite a bit. What pilot school is those Zetas again?
2.
2? Okay, so the Starkiller base still moves first, still gives them all a focus for the stress, and then they clear it and can take a target lock.
Yep.
And then shoot 3 dice.
Truth.
That sounds all right.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I like it. It's simple and elegant.
Alrighty, and then Steven Downs here. We're getting some FO love here. We got Lieutenant Tobson. Have we talked about Lieutenant?
Yeah, Tobson's the take damage to give actions, or take damage to get actions. That's right.
Cool. Tobson loaded out. Here we got biocodes. I think we've all agreed that biocodes is really good. Yeah.
And why does it cost 1 point?
Well, I think it costs 1 point and it's not legal for hyperspace, right? So
why not? No,
Yeah.
stop. Don't run it, people. I'm telling you. I mean, it's great, but don't get. It's a crutch. It's a crutch.
but why not? It's practically free.
It is practically free.
Alrighty, so you got fire control system to get that consistent damage, especially like a ship like the Upsilon shuttle, because it's so beefy. I feel like fire control system is more worth it because you're around longer. You can make that, you get that value out of those rerolls over time. Captain Phasma. I'm just trying to remember what the engagement. Each enemy ship at range 0 to 1 that is not stressed. Oops. Gains 1 stress token. Okay, so more stressing. This is really good against things like when you're flying this Upsilon shuttle, you're not the most maneuverable ship. If you can keep people stressed and not able to K-turn behind you, or at least it takes a couple extra turns, you have an opportunity to get around. Heavy laser cannon. I mean, 4 dice is good, but are you going to be able
5
to?
dice?
Sorry, is it 5 dice?
On an Upsilon, it is. That's called. That's called linked battery. While you perform a cannon attack, roll 1 additional die.
Oh,
go ahead.
Sorry, I forgot about the ship ability. The ship ability.
Yeah, linked battery. Now, can you
Gross.
reasonably get a range 2 to 3 bullseye on your Upsilon?
You best try. I mean, if you're bringing
dice.
It's an extra die, which we know have a really high value. Oh, that seems gross. It seems really good. Well, you know what it is? It's a little bit of bait, though, don't you think? Because mind you, if you get it off, you're gonna wreck somebody's face. But your opponent has to pay attention to where that bullseye is gonna be. Because if you just like it's not gonna happen, all of a sudden you got 5 dice pointed at your face, you're gonna be sad. You're gonna be real sad.
Yeah, it's definitely the deterrent. Like if Poe or Kylo or really one of those A-wings, pretty much anybody, if they end up and they're like, oh shoot, I'm range 3 right in that bullseye, I need to leave. Like I cannot sit here.
Nope.
So it does that at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Whew. 5 dice. Okay. Then we got quick draw, which we know being able to attack twice a turn is good. We know that. With fanatical, for some modifications after you lose the shields. Again, fire control system. Pattern analyzer to be able to, while you fully execute a red maneuver, you may perform 1 action before the check difficulty step. Special forces, stapled. Electronic baffle, a little bit of forced ability. I know in first edition I was never a super fan of electronic baffle. I mean, what are your thoughts on electronic baffle?
Basically it's this old oh man, what was the combo before? It was Rage Baffle in first edition. So electronic baffle is basically a way to self-damage your quick draw if you're stressed, and as this has pattern analyzer, probably doing red moves more often than not. And it's 2 points for baffle.
Yes, 2 points.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't need the bid, it's not a bad idea for quick draw. Is it a great idea? Maybe not. But with pattern analyzer and electronic baffle, you can just keep doing sloops back and forth until you run out of shields. And take 2.
That's
you
true.
be shooting twice per round each time you do that as well. So I think it's funny. I never thought Rage Baffle was the best quick draw in first edition. So it's interesting. I'll say that much. It's very interesting. This quick draw has a lot of mods, can self-damage, can do a lot of red moves. It's a very versatile quick draw.
And then we have Midnight, the AKA Omega Leader, with elusive. While you 1 charge, while you defend, you may spend 1 charge to reroll 1 defense dice, and pattern analyzer as well. I like the elusive call. I think this is the best EPT I've seen on Midnight because you're locking down the offensive modifiers on an opponent's ship. You want to be able to help yourself somehow, give yourself the best chances of not taking damage, and elusive is one way to do that. I actually really like that call of elusive on there.
I like the pairing of elusive and pattern analyzer and the green or the hard 2 blues of the FO. Means you're going to get a lot of actions and be able to. This whole list is just going to be a crazy K-turning all over the place.
Woo! Awesome. Super cool, Steven. And last but certainly not least, this is from Ryan Anderson. He says, "Please go over this one. I need help with building." So, all right. So he wants us to take this one apart.
Okay.
All right. Nobody else asked us to, but now this Ryan. Sorry, guys. Now Ryan asked us to. So Major Strident, quick draw, backdraws. We got double SF, Upsilon. Alrighty. So we got hyperspace tracking on Major Strident. I guess we should start. What does Major Strident do? So Major Strident, while you coordinate or resolve an effect of one of your upgrades, you may treat friendly ships at range 2 to 3 as if they are range 1. So you have a massive bubble for your effects here. Hyperspace tracking says during setup, you can place at a 0 or a 6. And after setup, you assign a focus or an evade to a friendly ship at range 0 to 2. I think probably the value in that card is more just the setup, not necessarily the focus or evade to start off with, because you don't get to keep them. You don't have anything that lets you hold on to the tokens, and these guys aren't, doing the whole like Alpha Strike, just trying to get into your face turn 1 anyway. And Pattern Analyzer, we know that's good, especially with all the reds on the Upsilon. What do you think about these SFs?
Well, let's take a look here. We got Quick Draw, both of them rocking Special Forces, Pattern Analyzer, and Fanatical. Let's see. I think. Did you mention that there's a Hux? There's a Huxalon.
Totally skipped that. Hux. There's a Hux, by the way.
Okay. So this round's with Fanatical and Pattern Analyzer and Special Forces Gunner. We have Backdraft. We haven't talked about Backdraft yet. Backdraft did change a little bit if you're familiar with the first edition. Now it just says if the defender is in your rear arc, roll an additional die. So he's really taking the Special Forces Gunner for the double tap and not so much for the 3 dice front. And honestly, that's where I'd start. First thing I would do is I would take Special Forces Gunner off of Backdraft.
Okay.
And because I just don't think you need it, and I just don't think I would build Backdraft the same as Quick Draw. I think they're 2 completely different ships.
Okay, so you're thinking about taking Special Forces off of that. I guess the allure, right, is that you can get three out the front or the back, depending on where you're pointed. It's probably the reason why people might jump to that on Backdraft. What's maybe a better option though? I think that's the part. Like you have 1, 2, 3. You got 4 options. Skilled Bombardier doesn't do anything. Hot Shot Gunner fires. After Quick Draw already fires.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just looked through them, and Backdraft. Backdraft's ability only works for primary attacks. I was about to slap a missile on the back of them.
I think if you don't have Special Forces, you don't have any gunner.
Yeah, I think I guess I will put the Special Forces back onto there, and
I don't see. I think if you're keeping these 3 pilots, I don't know what you can change on here to make it better. I mean, maybe you play around with the EPTs, but I think they're good. Honestly, Ryan, you put us in a pickle here. You put
I see why he wants list building advice, because
it feels done, right?
Yeah, I can see what he's going for, and yeah, now that I'm like building Backdraft from scratch again, I don't mind. See, the only thing I just don't like is the Pattern Analyzer, to be honest with you. So I don't think he needs to be slooping, because he's got 3 dice out the front or back all the time.
Okay, fair. Okay, so we can save 5 points there. What could we do with that? We can get a fire control system on one of them. We can get a missile if we want it.
I'm gonna suggest that we drop that Fanatical to something that works in Backdraft's rear arc. I'm gonna go with Trick Shot, which would leave us 5 points to put a shield upgrade on Quick Draw.
Well, we got 6 points. Oh,
sorry, 6 points for the shield upgrade on Quick Draw.
Boom! I like that.
Yeah, because you need, because Quick Draw is going to be, like, in my opinion, your in-game threat. And sometimes in lists, your Quick Draw is going to be like your up close, like your tank, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But because you have Major Strident and you have Backdraft here, I think you can actually hide Quick Draw in the back and save him for the end game. Though you might not need Fanatical then if you have shield upgrade. What would be another 2 point? What about Debris Gambit for Quick Draw? If he's getting those Hux coordinates for, say, focuses or target locks, it would free up his action for taking an evade once in a while. That would certainly keep him healthy.
That could. I mean, debris gambit's not a bad idea, but it's a red evade. But I mean, you got rocks around and stuff.
Find some rocks.
Just find some.
Yeah, I
Um,
think the problem, or maybe not problem, but
I like fanatical for the end game. Like once her shields are gone, like once you start on quick draw, you're gonna want to continue on quick draw. If you can get at least a turn or two of getting that to trigger, I think 2 points is value. Um,
okay.
because at the cost, I mean, debris gambit I think is cheeky. I think that could be cool. But if you're getting the coordinate Hux, does it require to be on your action bar?
No, but it just treats it as red, and they would both have to do the same action. So you'd have to put the
Debris gambit on
debris
both.
gambit on both.
Yeah, I think we leave
But
it at
I wouldn't do
fanatical.
that.
I think I really like the change you made there. Getting the shield upgrade onto quick draw is huge. I think you get that extra attack. So that's what we do, Ryan. That's how we would tweak it just a little bit. There we go. So thank you to everybody who participated in submitting. They already have. Did they get evade on their action bar? Somebody's saying they already have evade.
Oh, they already have evade. Oh man, what
Wrecked.
a world we live in. What a world we live in.
First edition. Got us. All right, so we were fine.
Yeah. So
We had it right
Yeah.
the whole time.
there you go. So there it should be pretty tanky then already. Sounds great.
All right, EZ. I spent the points for fun on debris
Yeah, just
because I could.
I didn't want to link to a rotate. I just wanted to take the stress. That's the weird debris gambit baffle trick.
Yeah.
That's some deep level baffling.
Fantastic. That was great. I love going through lists. It's always fun. So now we're going to do our YouTube spotlight. If you haven't watched the simultaneous fire video, I highly suggest you watch it. A lot of good information there. Don't take your ships off the board too early. Find out how to do that. Watch the simultaneous fire video. Lord Vader asks, what have you done with those plans? Well, Lord Vader, we have lots of plans. January 6th is our Pastimes Comics and Games in Niles, Illinois, the home of Gold Squadron. That is our monthly event. If you're in the Chicagoland area, join us. If you're at home, you can watch us live on stream. That should be a lot of fun. The Outrider Cup is happening January 12th. And Will, do we think we're going to be able to make what happened? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. That'd be cool.
Okay, so we may, if Will can find the will and the time, I'm playing at the event, and historically I've never streamed Outrider because I'm always playing, and I feel bad because it's an awesome event and I'd like to cover it, but I also want to play at it. So Will was supposed to have a team, and his guys are like, "Nah, I'm good. I don't want."
I wanted a team, but it was too late.
It was too late. So, yeah. So Will may, probably, maybe, hopefully, be coming out to Outrider Cup and be covering it for you guys. The Outrider event is really, really cool, and I'm going to do some planning there with getting the camera on the pairing process and all that, because if you haven't been a part of a team event, it is really, really, really fun. And then lastly, the Phoenix System Open is the next premier event in the United States that's happening. That's January 26th and the 27th. I'll be there covering the event, and super excited for that. All right, Will, any shout outs, anything to add before we close this out?
No. I am sad. I'll give a shout out to the Quad Cities guys. Normally every big wave launch events, I always head down to the Quad Cities, hang out at Games Plus One for their kind of small. I wouldn't say small. I meant to say semi launch party. And I'm gonna miss it this time. I got a friend's birthday. We're doing role playing and stuff. Dungeons and Dragons. No 50 Shades of Grey. It's not what I was referring to. But So yeah, just a big shout out to them. Save me some ships for Saturday. They're holding a launch tournament as well. So I think what do you think, Dion? Flip me the coin. Should I go first order or resistance?
Uh, uh, let's see if there a way.
That was figurative.
No, I have to figure it out. I mean, how about this? I'm probably gonna go first order first. You should check out resistance. That way we can knowledgeably talk about both sides. How about
Okay.
that?
That's fair. I want to put one of those MG hundreds on the board. I can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah. The with the forward arc.
So
It has all the things.
So yeah, that should be pretty fun. I'm excited for that. Very very much so. New ships.
New ships are always good.
What's the opposite of a shout out?
The
Beef.
The whisper in.
Whisper in.
Shout out.
I thought there was gonna be a third word to that I realized, and then I got the joke.
That was so bad.
I'm gonna give out my whisper in to anybody in the UK who already has their ships. I've probably been playing with them all week.
Yeah.
You also get to play tomorrow with them. I'm so jealous of everybody.
Will's just sitting at home. I'm salty. Salty Will with my beard. Well, yeah, that's super excited. And if you're just joining us, or maybe you missed this part, Wednesday, tomorrow, live, we're going to have Resistance First Order on the table for you. We got permission to crack some product open early and stream some of that. So it should be awesome. You can watch our live X-Wing coverage, events, podcasts, all the things here on twitch.tv/Gold Squadron Podcast. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button every 30 days if you got that Twitch Prime. It's literally free money. If you don't know how to set it up, you can contact me. We can get that going. They actually, as of yesterday, I noticed that they actually changed the way it's a little more hidden. It's harder to give away free money. It's a little bit harder. You got to go into some more menus. Because my mom, I love my mama. She's in town, and she has Amazon Prime now. And I was like, hey, did you know that you could give Gold Squadron Podcast free money? And she's like, oh, just do it. And I was like, oh, let me go through the process. Oh, this has changed. So if you need some help, let me know. I will help you out. YouTube, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 6,000 subscribers. We hit 5,000 last week, so that's super awesome. And lastly, if you want to support the show and become a part of the largest group of people who support us, go to patreon.com/Gold Squadron. You guys are the ones that make it happen. As I talked about earlier, I've been shipping out that swaggity swag, and it looks super awesome. If you got that mystery card, you know that's pretty sweet. And yeah, so thank you so much for joining us. For Will and Marcel, my name's Dion Morales. Gold Squadron, out.